Jared Goff has no such worries in Detroit because, among other things, the Lions have not drafted a potential long-term quarterback. They had that 7th overall pick. They created enough of a sense that maybe they were looking at quarterback to get people to wonder, would they take a quarterback at 7? Jared Goff, the guy for the foreseeable future. Here's Goff meeting with reporters yesterday talking about his pleasure over the fact that the Lions did not take a quarterback in the draft.
Yeah, we had some talks before the draft, and I think it's a nice vote of confidence, obviously, for me. And I think what's not lost on me is that their first move is as a staff with Brad and Dan was involved me. So it's exciting and it makes you feel good.
Just bizarre to say Lions quarterback Jared Goff, another example of how dramatically the NFL can change in any one offseason. And the Lions have cast their lot with this guy. They took on a big contract. They picked up a couple of first-round picks and a third-round pick. And bye-bye Matthew Stafford, who was a very, very good quarterback. And now Goff gets to come in as part of this new culture. You know, it's possible, even though I think Stafford is a much better quarterback, passer, everything you could ask for in a quarterback than Goff, all due respect to Goff, the team could have more success with Goff because maybe this time, after 60 years of swinging and missing, they finally put together the mindset that's necessary for the Lions to be a winning organization.
Look, you know, I noticed this over the weekend when you see the Lions all fired up in their draft room with new GM Brad Holmes, new coach, you know, their scouts, everybody is in there so excited after they make that Penei Sewell pick. But I guess the point I would make is sometimes those things are really, really important because you have to really want part of being good is you have to really want to be good. And I sit back at some of the Lions regimes and watch in the last few years, and you have to ask yourself about, like, Matt Patricia. You know, you really, really wonder about Matt Patricia and whether by the time last year where he became a little bit more touchy-feely, you have to wonder if the players had just tuned him out. And I think many of them had. They had to get rid of Darius Slay because of that. I think Dan Campbell's whole idea is we are going to own this. Like, look at this. You know, to me, I just think that is a really cool example of how happy and how good they feel after taking a guy they know could be transformative for their franchise.
You know, it's funny, Peter. We had Brad Holmes on the show yesterday, and I asked him right out of the gates, is the explanation for that moment that you guys had asked for decaf coffee and they accidentally brought in caffeinated? But he said no, that it was pure raw emotion of the moment, and it was great. We had fun with Brad Holmes yesterday. We'll have the video posted at PFT. But, yeah, the Rams gave up on Goff. The Lions giving him a chance with all these cultural changes they're making. And at some point, if you're the Lions, at some point, aren't you going to stumble into something that works after all these iterations and attempts and failed regimes? Just the law of averages, Peter. At some point, it's just going to happen despite whatever flaws you may have in putting a team together. You're going to accidentally put together the right mixture. And wherever that kernel came from to do what they're doing with Chris Spielman, and I really do think he's a big piece of this, bigger than we realize. But this old school mentality, the kneecap biter stuff, we've had fun with that phrase, but it's a mentality that a lot of teams don't have nowadays. And when there's a small handful of teams like that, it's jarring to the other teams when they come up against it.
And, you know, look, we're really going to be able to tell, Mike, about sort of the color and the verve and the passion of this program. We're going to be able to tell during this season. And, okay, so they play the season, whatever happens, happens. But during this season, what's going to happen is that other players around the league are going to look at the Detroit Lions. And you look at what Penei Sewell said in his press conference. And he basically said, hey, listen, we got life in the D, or whatever his cool quote was. But that is what other players could be drawn to. Let's say the Lions go 9-8. They barely miss the playoffs, but they're on the rise a little bit. Goff plays well. And then in the offseason, X free agent and Y free agent and Z free agent say to their agent, hey, listen, let's talk to the Lions if they have any interest at all. That's the kind of stuff you want to get players who want to play for your franchise.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.